The next stop on our journey visits a location that has seen the likes of Peter Sellers, Hugh Grant, Nicole Kidman and Tom Cruise walk through its doors. But more significantly, it has graced the presence of Britain's favourite spy. The Bond is Pierce Brosnan. The film was Michael Apted's 1999 The World Is Not Enough, and the location in question is none other than Luton Hoo. A popular location for a number of films, it's unsurprising that Luton Hoo has made the top list. So to find out more about the filming of The World Is Not Enough, and of another Bond film that you may not be aware of, I spoke to Martin Mulder, who is the Bond location expert from On the Tracks of 007. So, Martin, Luton Hoo in Bedfordshire, it's a grand location, so it's really unsurprising that it's been used as a film location in the Bond films and in many other films, as a matter of fact. How many times has it been used for filming for James Bond?
Actually, on two occasions, in 1983 and 1999.
Okay, and so they were for what films?
In 1983, they filmed Never Say Never Again, The Return of Sean Connery. And in 1999, they filmed a brief scene for The World Is Not Enough with Pierce Brosnan.
Okay, and you say The Return of Sean Connery. Now, Never Say Never Again was sort of classed as I don't want to say fake Bond film, but it wasn't part of the official franchise, was it?
No, it's true. It's a very interesting story behind it, and the rights to make that film, it all goes back to Thunderball, which was made in 1965, which was based on a story not only written by Ian Fleming, but by Kevin McClory as well, and Jack Whittingham. And it was actually way before Dr. No, the very first official Bond film was made, that they worked on these scripts, and at some point the idea was dropped, and Fleming just took the idea and he wrote the book Thunderball, based on those storylines that the three men had come up with. So he was sued for that, and eventually the film rights for Thunderball ended up with Kevin McClory. Eon Productions, Cubby Broccoli and Harry Saltzman, they eventually teamed up with Kevin McClory to make Thunderball, because that was the only way they could film that story in 1965. But the rights for that film, for that story material, remained with Kevin McClory. So over the past decades, he tried over and over again to come up with a rival James Bond series based upon the story material that they had written. And it eventually led to the 1983 film Never Say Never Again, and Sean Connery starred in it, which was a lot of fun, of course, for Connery to return and for the fans to see him again. But it's considered an unofficial Bond film.
Yeah, and you say it was Sean Connery's return. It was 12 years after he filmed his last Bond film, wasn't it?
Exactly, yeah. 1971 was his last official appearance, and then he got out of it. But he returned for Kevin McClory.
Which means in the meantime that George Lazenby and Roger Moore had both taken up the role. Right,
exactly.
So, from Never Say Never Again, which scenes in the film were filmed at Luton Hoo?
Well, they had a health, how do you call that, a health farm, a health clinic.
The health clinic, yeah.
Yeah, and Bond just had to work on his health, so he was sent to Shrublands by M, his boss. And Luton Hoo was Shrublands, both exterior and interior. They actually filmed interior scenes there as well. There was a big fight in it with a big guy, and Connery fought him inside of Luton Hoo. There was also a separate building, which is like a few hundred meters away from the hotel, from the Luton Hoo house, which is nowadays the spa. And that was used as the air base that you can see Jack Patachi depart from, his character in the film. And he departs from that building, which was an airbase. And later on, he gets killed. His car gets off the road and explodes. And that was filmed on the estate as well, just on the outskirts of it.
Gosh, they used the estate for quite a lot then, really, for quite a chunk of the film.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. It played a major part in it.
And Luton Hoo was then again used 16 years later.
Exactly. They returned to the estate in 1999 to film a very brief scene in The World Is Not Enough, featuring Pierce Brosnan. And they actually only used an interior part of the house. It was a grand staircase, and they filmed the scene there. Because at the time the house was empty. It wasn't a hotel yet, so they could do whatever they want with it.
So they didn't use it as frequently as Never Say Never Again at all. Was that any reason, anything in particular why they used it so much in Never Say Never Again? Is maybe the funding that they had? Because so many scenes are filmed at Luton Hoo from Never Say Never Again.
Well, it makes sense logistically, when you have the actors there, you can just have them stay in the house and just film everything around it. It saves you a lot of money.
Yeah, and a very important question for you. The World Is Not Enough. It's written by the band Garbage. In your opinion, is it garbage or is it a classic?
I've heard a lot worse.